Hello and welcome to another episode of the Complete Agent podcast, where each week we talk all things estate agency. My name is David Warburton. As ever, I'm joined by my colleagues Ian Story and James Kendall. Lads, how the hell has your week been?
Go on, Ian. You go first, mate.
Well, I've had one of the best weeks for an awful long time. So we were away last week on holiday, lovely few days in Abersock, and then a couple of days back in the office. But then yesterday was our first Complete Agent Mastermind in Birmingham, as of course you both know. I was absolutely buzzing, lads. I had couldn't get to sleep till about 11 o'clock, which is way past my bedtime normally. I had to go for a run this morning to clear my head and get back on it, but it was fantastic day, and still buzzing now, really. So I'm really good, lads, really good. In terms of the business, our pipeline is insane. So our pipeline is now much higher than it ever was during the COVID boom, 21-22. The difference is we've got a lot more properties on the market, which I'm sure everyone is experiencing. So we've got more than we've had before. So we've had to team up, nearly said staff up then, but Aidan would tell me off. We've had to team up to cope with the amount of properties that we've got. But overall, what do you want as an estate agent? You want lots of listings and you want lots of sales. So I have no complaints from me.
I'm just going to say, it's a nice little problem to have. Your pipeline's up massively and you've got more stock. So that'll filter through as well. So when you do sell everything, you'll have more in the pipeline. It'll be replenished.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. How about you, JK?
Okay.
Yeah, good. Obviously coming to Mastermind in a minute, but work-wise, yeah, really good. Loads of listings. Pipeline again, literally even double what it was in 21-22, which is ridiculous, really. And I think that's as a result of like you say, loads of sales, better quality listings, higher fees. In the last week, we've agreed just between myself and Rich last week, over 30 grand for the start of the month. So real phenomenal start to the month. But then obviously yesterday, like you said, mate, I was literally absolutely buzzing for the First Mastermind yesterday. Great to meet and see everyone. Obviously, we met some of the others in person before, but great to meet some new faces I hadn't met before. And I just felt like what I really loved about yesterday was just the buzz around the room and like the buzz afterwards as well. Like everyone that came away buzzing and like meeting people the night. I'm going to unpack this in a minute as well, but having met people for the first time the night before and how apprehensive we were. Because the thing is, you meet people before you go into a mastermind. You start chatting, you talk, you chat your usual shit about what you're doing in your life, but then also you start inevitably you end up talking agency, don't you? And just listening to some of the challenges they were having in the evening on like Tuesday evening, and then seeing them come away Wednesday with I feel like some of the stuff that happened just completely transformed them. So, but yeah, that's me, Dave. Go on. We need to nail this down.
Yeah, good week, guys. Thank you. Yeah, it was. I've had similar to you guys. The pipeline's great. Loads of listings, and I've got loads of stuff coming on. In fact, there's a bit of a side note to that. I've had a lot of frustrations as well because the weather is just so horrifically bad and inconsistent. So we've cancelled 2 take-ons this week because the weather was biblical, and it's. I think part of it is testament to the team. We want to do a great job, and we want to make sure it's the right day because it would be very easy, wouldn't it, to just go into the house and do it anyway. And some estate agents would, but we obviously want to try and get the best possible result. And the owners want to work with us as well and get the same result. So part of me is happy that we've not just gone ahead and done it. But at the same time, it is frustrating. That said, we've done 4 take-ons in the last week and plenty of valuations. So the diary's good. Pipeline's good. It's pretty good at the office. And yesterday, like you guys, it was the first mastermind for us all. And I came away absolutely buzzing with it. I did sleep well last night because it was a long day. I know you were still awake, Ian, and did you run this morning, as did I, but I got a really good night's sleep because I didn't the first night, I'll be honest.
I didn't get a great night's sleep last night either, to be honest. I sound like Barry White today.
Young White,
because
I didn't go for a run either. I just want to put that out there,
No,
it's all about balance, life, isn't it? You two going for a run and going to the gym, not me.
No, well, yeah, listen, it was a great day, really, really great day, and I think we all ended it on a high. But we're going to unpack that, aren't we, just today? Go through a few bits, talk about our plans in the coming weeks, because there's also, boys, an important thing that we're doing today that's going to impact our members in July onwards and get them loads and loads of valuations, hopefully. So yeah, some exciting stuff coming up. Some exciting stuff has passed. Onwards and upwards, do we say? Should we get straight into it?
Yeah, go for it.
So, yesterday was our first mastermind event for the Complete Agent, which is where we get all the agents that are in our community together, and we talk about what we are doing in our businesses, in our own businesses that have been very, very successful. And essentially what it was taking, we unpacked the mini-series that we did on this podcast, and we went through all of that. No, we didn't. I'm gonna pull that right back. We had, so this is, I suppose, again, this is testament to the day and to the guys that attended, that are in our group. I think we had an agenda set, and we timed it, and we sort of had a 9:30 we'll cover this, at 11 o'clock we'll cover this, at 1 o'clock we'll cover this. I think we got to 4:30 and we were only up to 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
We'd gone through so much and unpacked so much, and what I found really great, guys, I don't know about you, was that the interaction in the room was so good. There was nobody just sat there taking notes. Everybody was really engaged, and they were adding a lot of value and asking lots of questions. And that's one of the benefits of being in a room together. You're not just listening like we do on the podcast. You can reach out and obviously ask a question and get it answered. We were able to share our screen on the laptops and share some stuff that we're doing. And I just felt it was really useful. And a lot of people, as always in agency, are suffering the same challenges and having the same problems. So to be able to bounce it off other people in the room as well, I thought was really, really useful. And like you've just alluded to there, JK, I think a lot of people have got away with some great ideas and stuff to implement. Hopefully not too much, because it really was that busy. There was loads to take in yesterday.
I thought that, I said to a lot of people, the one thing that you should really take away and implement, and I know we kind of tried to press on 3 different things, but I do think, without, again, blowing smoke up your backside, Dave, look, the thing that a lot of people took away yesterday, well, there was 2 things, really. I suppose one of the main ones was for a lot of people, and Ian, you'll probably back this up in a minute, because, we had quite a lot of testimonials and feedback of people afterwards, but the data loft and data training, again, I think it was amazing to see, in the room for I spoke to Penny, and she just said it's been transformational for her, because she was really worried about understanding the data and how it all fits in. And she said that was just so easy, to understand. And now she's able to articulate it. So, if she's going up against the likes of, the big corporates, she's going in with confidence as the area expert, and other people as well. I mean, I spoke to Michael as well, Michael and Dan. I was having a good chat with them because they were at the front, nearing the break, and just about them going into their new respective areas and be able to drill down into the data immediately in that area, have the information and the tools in front of them, and able to articulate again what the market's doing in that area as the expert. I just saw a lot of light bulbs go off in people's minds. I just, when you go to a lot of, obviously all 3 of us have been to a lot of events and different masterminds, and some of them you can sit in and go, what am I here doing? It's like a day just telling people how to suck eggs. But I do feel like genuinely people came out of there yesterday going, wow, that was packed.
Yeah. Packed, mate. Well, a few people said to me, as I said, I did those interviews with everyone afterwards, and a few people said to me that what they loved about it was that we were just trying to teach them how to be the best possible estate agent.
Yeah.
Which might sound obvious, but so many other groups, it's about trying to turn you into the best CEO, or trying to get you out of your business, or all these sort of strategies that other people are trying to teach them, when they said, we just want to be called estate agents. We just want to be better estate agents. Quite a few people said that to me, and I think they got real value. Something else that people said was that because the 3 of us are in completely separate areas of the country, all running slightly different, but in a way quite similar businesses, they like that as well, because it's sort of real world experience, not just from one area. We can all speak of different areas of the country. You're in the southeast, JK, or east. Dave's in the northwest. We're both in the northwest, but different parts of the northwest. People really love that, and they got value. They definitely got value out of it. The data loft thing was massive. I've written a few notes down here. People really got a lot out of Dave's data and how he uses that, and how we all now use that on Val's. The marketing plan was a really big thing. So I talked through our marketing plan, and people hopefully will go away and implement. Let's see if they do. Will go away and implement a marketing plan in their own business. That was a huge thing that people mentioned. Even things like negotiation. It's interesting how many of the agents there really need help on, negotiating and how to stop buyers from renegotiating after a survey. That was something that I really felt resonated. Pre-list packs. Pre-list packs is a big thing that I think none of them do pre-list packs before valuation. So hopefully they'll all now go away and implement them. That's where we send out the marketing plan and brochure ahead of our Vals. And the final thing I've written down on my list, I'm sure there's others, was the process for getting letters out. So we all get brilliant response from our letters. We get into all these higher end homes, and the three of us have all had direct instructions off the not on the market letters this year so far, millions of pounds worth of property. But the three of us all send our letters in a slightly different way. So it was the process for how we all do that differently, and to show how JK can get 10,000 letters out, Dave can get 7,500 letters out, we can get 5,500 letters out each quarter on time without fail. And I think people went away absolutely buzzing for it. So I really can't wait for the next one, lads.
I think there's things like objections as well. Like, one thing I found that I was really able to put value in the room for was that when a lot of the objections came up. Things like, what do I say when this happens? Somebody says that, the other agent says they've got a London office. The other agent says they've got this, and I was just able to go, right, bam, 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 bam. Yeah. And it just, having those tools in your kit. So when you then go out, next time you're sat in front of a potential client and they go, well, you've got a London office. No, actually, tell you what, let's make a deal. Just so you don't miss out on property selling your property for the best price. Let's make a deal. We'll have web exclusivity and do our social media campaign, and we'll send them the photos and they can put it in the window of their London office just so you don't miss out. And it's like, oh, how kind of you. I mean, you even had that anecdote from that lady, Ian, where, was it the house at like 2.5 or 2.6 or whatever it was. Yeah. And, other agents are doing this, that, and the other. And you're like, well, actually, I'm part of a network, and it was shared across the country. Yeah. And, she'd seen you share it across Facebook, and
she loved it. Yeah. I put it off. It's a 2.85 million pound, 26-acre equestrian home. And literally, I was about in bed last night, checked out, but I booked a viewing at 11 p.m. last night with a cash price. I'm going to take him tomorrow morning. I couldn't believe the timing. I got a text. This guy's seen it on our website, gone to my profile on our website and sent me a text. Can I arrange a viewing? So that was quality. But my point was that, as you said, I put it on Facebook and then showed the seller. Well, she saw it on my Facebook, and I said that any agents across the UK, if you've got a buyer for this property, send them our way and we'll give you a percentage of our fee. So she was really buzzing that we've done that. It won't happen, as we all know, but she was buzzing that we've done it. It really shows her we've go the extra mile. And then something else from yesterday was that we created a sheet. Holly, but by the way, Aidan and Holly yesterday, before we forget, amazing. Legend. They were just brilliant. I mean, we couldn't have done it, could we, to the same level without them. No. So they were invaluable yesterday. So thank you guys if you're listening. But yeah, we've created a sheet for all of our members, which is to compete with the likes of Savills, who say they've got network of offices. Well, we've got a network of offices too, because all the agents in the TCA are selling mid to higher end homes across the country, and we can put your home in front of all of our member agents. And that went down. That won me an instruction 2 weeks ago, and we're going to share that out with our members, aren't we? So they can do the same and compete.
They can have the benefit of the power of the network, can't they? Because that's, and ultimately that's what we're building as well—a network of agents in the mid to high end space that want to be high performing and want to be the best they can be. So why wouldn't you want to put your property in front of all of those sorts of people?
It's things like the power of the network. It's things like we can get people a discount on street. So we're all street users. We're about to be, you two both are already, and we've agreed with Street that they'll give a discount, a £500 discount off their joining fee if people mention TCA. We've got a code that we can give them. So it's things like that we can use, can't we, to help people to, save money and to grow.
We talk about Mastermind. Gatesy, we're talking about stats. Gatesy sent me through something this morning from Rightmove.
I'm Julie Laurie, and this is my husband Daniel. And we've been running our business for 10 years.
We joined a few months ago now, and I think from our point of view, or personally from my point of view, it's going to up my game in conversion rates especially.
So could you tell me what you would say to someone who was sort of on the fence and thinking about joining the Complete Agent? What would your advice be to them?
Oh, it's a no-brainer. Yeah, I mean, it would really uplift their business so much. They know you're doing the right thing, and that's going to work.
Gatesy, we were talking about stats. Gatesy sent me through something this morning from Rightmove, and it's all about the election stats. I thought it was quite interesting. It just popped up. It literally just texted me, so I thought I'd talk about it while it's fresh in my mind. New listings in the 2 weeks since the election was called are up 9.17%, and sales agreed are up 4.92%. When looking at the 6-year average. Pre-election insights from Rightmove in their spring survey, 95% of home movers say the upcoming general election will not affect their moving plans, which is massive, really. So
that's amazing.
So yeah, I mean, hopefully Dave will come back and join us soon. And
well, even if he doesn't, the people have got the best too. We all know that.
Dave's just responded to a message in the group as well. So we're talking of Dan Wilson. He's just had another response. He just sent it in the group actually just now. Really lovely, big house, stone built by the looks of it, ready and keen to sell. So he said keen to put Dataloft, the training into action and talk people through it. But I think that was massive and that's transformational. I think, we're obviously going to have some content to show people that aren't members in terms of how it kind of went down and what other people thought. But I just thought in general yesterday, just listening to everyone's stories around the room, everyone's at different parts of their journey. Phil has literally just started out on his journey self-employed, plenty of years of experience. And I think, on just speaking of Tuesday evening, there was real value in having Rich there. So one of my area partners. And Rich and Phil really kind of hit it off. And Rich was just, he's obviously started an area from nothing. And speaking to Phil and just saying, look, don't wait, just get cracking. There's so many, and that was kind of the theme for the day, speaking about where the low-hanging fruit is.
Yeah. I also find it was so interesting with so many agents who were there yesterday. We were saying to them, how do you look? We were saying, because everyone wants to sell nice houses, that's a given, but how do you look? So it's all very well sending out letters that we know work really well. But if the people are reading that letter, then go to your website and you're selling a load of 3-bed terraces at 200 grand and your logo package from the 90s, they're probably not going to call you about the £1 million home.
No.
So don't put too much emphasis on the sort of on the other end. You need to start at the beginning really and think about how you look and be honest with yourself. That's something we went through at Stories quite early on because we were called Story Estates when we started, and we had quite a limey sort of green board with quite big lettering on it. And it didn't take me long to work out that I just feel like it feels a bit cheap. So we dropped the estates and just had Stories, went a darker green, changed the logo. The key, and obviously it looks classy, but it still appeals to 400 grand houses. We've done quite well with the brand stretch. Brand stretch is something else we spoke about yesterday, isn't it?
Yeah, brand stretch, yeah.
We were sort of saying how if you've got an established brand selling mid-range, maybe mid-lower, then adding on a premium brand is probably the way to go.
Yeah.
But if you're starting out and you're new into sales, then you can definitely create a brand that does brand stretch, like we've done at Stories, where you can sell 400 grand Red Rose and you can sell £2.85 million equestrian homes within the same brand. But it really depends on how old the company, how long it's been going, what sort of reputation it's got for the properties that it's sold already.
Yeah.
That was a really key takeaway. I think that a few members who shall remain nameless around the room really resonated with them. So I think that was a big takeaway for a lot of people as well.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of things to action implement from an event like that. I mean, I literally, when you were talking, when Dave was talking, I suppose probably when I was talking, hopefully, people were scribbling notes down. I don't feel like anyone went away without a sheet of A4 or there was lots of remarkables and iPads around the room, without a sheet full of notes that people were making. I just. One thing that was good is that we kind of said, look, you need to implement 3 things from today. There's lots to action and implement, but just take take one big thing. So, and I would say that's probably got to be data loft or the 16-step plan or whatever step plan. Like implement one of those, because that's quite a big thing to implement. Putting together the plan in the beginning. I mean, what the bonus is, I think you said you're going to send the PDF over, aren't you, of the digital version of your plan? Did you say
I'm
that?
going to send the digital wording to members who ask for it. Yeah,
That's obviously members only. So a nice kind of helping hand for a lot of the members to set them off. But yeah, I think there's so much to implement and kind of unpack. And I just think that, data loft, and I know we've talked about it on the pod before, just having the ability to drill down into each individual postcode is just completely game changing.
Massive.
You can, even in your own area, even if you know your own area, again, another thing, Amazon probably noticed a spike in laser measurers yesterday as well. The square footage measuring laser measurer. What is going on with me today? I have no idea. I think it's this bed.
Anyway, I think what you need to do next time, mate, is not stay in an Ibis.
Yeah. I didn't think we were going to admit that on the podcast.
Oh, mate, I'm happy to admit it.
Yeah.
Going back to my point at the start of the podcast, really, one of the things people said to me in the interviews afterwards was that it felt like they've got actionable takeaways for a estate agency, not anything flowery or high level or, they just want actionable day-to-day stuff. And they really valued the three of us because we've got so much experience and we're in such different areas of the country. And we had some bants, didn't we? And we had a good laugh, and there was loads of laughs in the room as well. It was a great, really entertaining day.
The thing is, I came up with a buzz because it was literally like everyone was such on a good. Like, I think there was a lot of nervousness in the beginning because some people weren't sure what to expect. But then, kind of as to the day kind of went on, when Dave dropped a subjective, or you said, "Oh, welcome," or there was some gilet bants, and then. I feel like we've all got our own thing. You got your gilet, he's got his subjective, and I've got my Bosch. So in between all the three of us, it was a really good day. Well, it's been lovely chatting to you, Dave. Dave, what would you like to say? Well, you're no longer selling your next house; you're selling your buyer's next house. So for those of you listening, Dave crashed around 10 minutes ago, and me and Story have been filling the time. And hoping that he's going to come back, but I think he's gone. Ibis Birmingham Centre has him now.
No, mate. I think overall it was a great day, and I'm really looking forward to the next one. It won't be an Ibis, as we said, but we're really looking forward to the next one, and we're going to try and answer more challenges. Yesterday was really we only got through half of what we wanted to talk about, didn't we? Because obviously, in a very good way, people were asking loads of questions off the back of what we were saying, and we only really got through sort of half of the content. So next time we can pick up on that. But I really want to make sure that next time we answer challenges that people have got more directly, really. Even though we did that yesterday, I want to make sure that we do that next time. And I'm very pleased to say that David Warburton's returned.
I was just going to say, that sounds like a great idea. I have no idea what you've just been talking about for the last 10 minutes. So,
we're just talking about how me and Ian smashed it. And how you just randomly wandered off.
I did. That's exactly what I did yesterday.
Dave, we were just saying about how well we thought it went and all the different sort of challenges that we answered to people. Data loft, obviously, you sort of led that section yesterday.
Absolutely smashed it.
We sort of kept that away, didn't we? But people really got amazing value from that, I think.
Do you just want to talk through that a bit, Dave, and then just unpack some of that as well?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we've covered so much of that over the last we've done it ever since day one, I think, for the podcast, but as part of the mini-series. And my big view is that, when you go see a client, the majority of estate agents that go out will rely on rapport building, which is obviously extremely important. But they'll also, I think, a lot of the time do insufficient research on what the market's actually doing, particularly in a volatile market that we're in right now, because it is. We've had that period of COVID where everything was rosy and everything was selling very, very quickly and prices were consistently rising. But now it's a little bit more normalized, shall we say. But also, I think, there's a lot of stock problems. I think everybody's got a lot of stock, and there's a lot of vendor management and things like that. But if you are running data-driven valuations and showing essentially how you are arriving at a number for the property, it's never your valuation. So you can quickly steer the conversation to the more important things, which is selling your services and how you can impact their journey and take them onto the next step in their chapter, so to speak. But the really important thing is to use the data to your advantage to show what the market is doing. And it was just getting that across to people yesterday. And to be honest, I take that side for granted because it's something I've done for a long time. I use data to value homes. As I say, it's never my valuation, it's the market valuation. It's nice to be able to say, look, you don't have to agree with me, Mr. Vendor, because that is the subjective part of any valuation. But that's what the data is telling me. And my job is to give you as much of the information as I possibly can so that you can make informed decisions. It's not me making them for you or forcing you down a route that you don't want to go. I'm just here to advise you and tell you what's happening as the expert in this field. We'll arrive at a guide, and then we will just market the hell out of it the way we do, which is the most important thing. And I think what we also spent a bit of time on yesterday, lads, I don't know if you've covered this in the last 10 minutes, but obviously we talked about negotiation techniques and things like that, what you can say to try and get your point across. And there's loads of different ways of doing things. One thing that stuck in my mind, again, hopefully we've not mentioned this, was telling stories. Have you discussed that? Okay, so we talked about, I know JK was speaking passionately about one that he had agreed, more than one. And there's one particular story that you've told quite a bit, JK, which is great. And it's an example of how you are streets ahead of your competition when it comes to negotiation. You've proven it on one sale where many, I think 3 other agents had valued this house at like 1.25 million. I think you ended up getting 1.5 plus for it. And that's
1.7.
1.7, sorry?
1.7.
I mean, it's just that. I mean, that is unbelievable, isn't it? It's phenomenal. But the way you did that was it was a data-driven valuation. I think you've obviously understood what the market was doing, and you knew what type of buyer would buy that home. So there's a few steps to that. One, the data-driven valuation. You've got into a lot more detail than anybody else will have done to arrive at what you think is a realistic figure. So they'll be looking at other 4 and 5 bed detached homes or whatever it was and going, well, that one sold for 1.25, that one sold for 1.35, that one sold for 1.3. This is where I think your property sits, Mr. Vendor. You've unpacked all the data. You've gone through something quite meticulously. You've used stats and facts to arrive at a valuation for the property. And you can see that actually it's worth a lot more than what the other agents are suggesting on paper. But then the next step to that is, who's going to buy that property? You don't need to tailor the house itself. So again, you're no longer selling your home, you're selling your buyer's next home. So you've got to present the home in a way that your target market is going to buy it. And then you've got to market it to that target audience in a certain way. And obviously you've done that. And once you've done that, and you've done a really successful job at it, so I think it was Penny who was sort of saying that, going up against a lot of the big estate agents, losing a few, and they're using their offices and stuff like that as a way to overcome their proposition. But I think when you're a smaller company, in particular, and you are going up against the perceived big boys, you've got to find an edge. And I think edge will be your preparation of the valuation to show that you are an authority in your market and you know what's happening in your market, and you can get that across and show them how it impacts them as the homeowner. But then the second one is passion. You're in a really good position. I think, Ian, we sort of showed your website, and I love that you've got it on the front and centre of your homepage about being a small team. And you only take on a select number of properties every month. I know that's changed quite a bit over the last sort of 12 months because you've become the attraction agent in your area. But it's a good way of putting it. We only take on a small number of properties every month. All our team get to know your property intimately so that we can sell it to anybody that's inquiring about it. That, for me, is a USP, because if you are a bigger corporate agent or one of the main players in the town that are taking on maybe 20 and 30 a month, you do generally just become a number. and you can't spend as much time with that client as you normally would do. And it's not just, we all know how properties get sold, so it's not just about being able to match it out to new clients every single day, go dropping flyers and putting it on Facebook and make sure it's got all the pictures changed and everything on the Rightmove and Zoopla. But it's also about checking in. You know, we've all had it. You get too many listings, and then you sort of run out of time to check in with these clients, and you're not doing it perhaps as frequently as you should do. But if you've got a smaller number of clients that you're dealing with, then you can use your time wisely. You can check in with them every week. And we've always said it doesn't have to be anything majorly comprehensive. It might just be a voice note with some of the latest changes. It might be right now, for example, there's a general election being called. How's that being affected in the market? It might be an article about interest rates that you want to drop in and have an opinion on. So it's all that, just being able to differentiate yourself. So being the smallest agent in the town and going up against the big boys, it can be a USP, and you've just got to learn the language and turn it into your favour. And I think going back to JK's story, get good at telling stories. You know, if you've got 2 or 3 house sales that you've been really, really good on, get good at telling how good you were on it. So like you did passionately yesterday, JK, about how the other agents valued him at 1.25, 1.3. And then you went around with the data and you actually thought that you could get 1.5, 1.6 for it. When it came down to it, you negotiated 1.7, which is £500,000 more than the next agent. It's a phenomenal story. And that more than justifies your 0.5%, 1% increase on any fee against your competition.
You charge 10%.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know, the whole point of that is it doesn't matter how big your agency is. It doesn't matter how new you are to the industry. If you are prepared, data-driven, and you've got all these little nuggets and stories that you can tell. It's Oliver in the room yesterday. He's quite new to owning his own business, but he's been doing agency a long time. Phil Bartlett, who's joined, absolutely brilliant agent, done it for 15 years. He's just starting out on his own. Just because he's new doesn't mean he's not experienced. So use that to your advantage. It's a USP. Get in there and show them what you can do.
One thing a few of the guys yesterday, I think it was maybe Kenny or Oliver, or maybe both of them, said was what they said was, how do you compete with the likes of Savills and Jackson Stocks and all these big boys, as inverted commas, who sell all the massive £1 million houses across the world? And I say that is the reason that the client shouldn't use them, because they sell all of them, and therefore they have got so many that they are dealing with at any one time across the entire company that you are not important to them, Mr. Smith. To me, you are my only £2.85 million listing. To them, they've got 30 of them across the UK. So that is definitely you should flip that round and use that to your favour. And then the other thing from yesterday that we mentioned was marketing mix, wasn't it? So we talk about how the success we get from letters, and a few people have said, I've sent the letters and I've not had any response. And we say, well, are you doing everything? Because to get the success that we've got, you've got to be doing everything consistently. So it's not just about sending letters. It's about all your social content. It's about the quality of the marketing, the consistency of the marketing across every single property. No toilet rolls. We talked about yesterday. That's my rule. We all laughed a bit, but we have rules across every property. So no cars on the drive. If we're doing edits on podcasts, we'll edit out neighbours' paths, edit out tarpaulins in neighbours' gardens and stuff. Things that aren't permanent, we wouldn't edit out an electricity pylon, obviously. But there's consistency across everything that we do. So that's why we get the success that we get. And we were really trying to drill that home to everyone yesterday.
Yeah, and do you know what, Ian? To us, that is just so normal. Like, to me, what you're saying there, I'm just like, of course you wouldn't put a toilet roll on a photograph. Of course there wouldn't be a towel in a picture that's scruffy. But it's not, is it? It's not normal, and that's what we've come to learn. Lots of people still do it, but it's these marginal gains that will get you these big listings, because they like the fact that you're very prepared and that you aren't taking a meticulous approach with their property. And I know you two take the piss out of me, and there's always a bit of a giggle in the room when I say it, but that saying, it's about learning the language when you're in the valuations. So although I say it all the time, you are not just selling your home, you're selling your buyer's next home. The vendor, the owner of that property, has that light bulb moment and goes, yeah, I get it. I understand now that you need to do what you need to do. And that is present the home to the target market that's going to buy it. That's why we're going to go through this process, this meticulous approach, to make sure that this house looks the best it possibly can for the type of person that's going to buy it. I've done a take on last week. It's a 5,000 square foot house. It's in 0.7 of an acre, and it's got 2 people living in it, and they live in 2 rooms in the house, 2 or 3 rooms in the house. So a lot of the other rooms are not ready. So we spent probably around 3 or 4 hours prepping that house last week, because we know that we need to present some of the rooms in a certain way that the target market is going to buy it. And that's how you justify being a higher percentage agent, and it's those marginal gains that will get you there. So yeah, I think there was loads that we went through, lads. We unpacked so much, and it's difficult to get it across sometimes, isn't it, in the podcast? But when people are in that room as part of the mastermind session, they can probe, they can ask questions, they can learn from us, they can learn from others in there, use certain techniques. It was really, really good yesterday to see that, and I'd be lying if I said I didn't get a bit of a buzz from it all. I thought it was really, really good. I really, really enjoyed seeing everybody going away with healthy minds, really excited about the next step. And in fact, as we've been talking, lads, I don't know whether you've seen it on the Complete Agent group, private group, but Dan Wilson's just put in, he's just had a call from
no idea. No, go on, mate, tell us.
He said he's just had a really positive call from a non-letter, and it looks. Oh, have you done it? Have you said this? Oh no! Damn it!
Also, managed to get in there ahead of you as well, mate. A stat from Gatesy.
No way! I was going to finish on the stat from Gatesy.
No. Well, let's pretend. Go on, carry on.
What's the stat from Gatesy?
Well, Gatesy contacted me personally. And he said, "No, if you've done it, you've done it." But it's good. It's just an example, isn't it, of the reporting the data. Now that people have got that, report it. Tell people what's happening. Articulate it. Don't just give it. Articulate it. Well, when I obviously my computer went off at about 10 minutes. The best message I got was from my builder, who is currently renovating one of my rentals that got trashed by a tenant. He sent me a video with maggots all over a worktop.
Oof, lovely. That seems like a good place to finish the podcast.
Oh, great. Well, it
was
was
on the worktop.
Yes. No, listen, it was a phenomenal day. I think it is a good place to finish anyway, isn't it? We've unpacked quite a bit there. Bit of a short podcast this week, luckily for everybody listening. But, we are generally on a high from the mastermind. And I think if you're listening to this and you're not part of Complete Agent yet, if you wanted any validation, just speak to anybody that attended yesterday. I thought it was a great day. And I think you'll hear firsthand what people got out of it. And it's
can't wait to... We managed to interview every person that attended yesterday. So me and Holly managed to get everyone spoken to and got it all on camera. So Hull, who I'm sure is tired today because they got home really late last night, but Hull will get all those edited and we'll get those out so people can see from, was it 22 members, 22 attendees? So there'll be something like 12 or 15 video interviews from yesterday. So we'll make sure we get those out as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah, it was a great day. So if you are thinking about it, get in touch. We'll get you at the next one.
And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Thanks for listening.